Two.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Detroit by Dark. And I will not be doing any humorous introductions for this particular one, because now it is a serious matter, because the internet is a serious business like that. The scene will start at Lucian's mansion, the one which James Pasquet has often said used to belong to Kid Rock. I'm not sure what he would want to do in Detroit, but still, nonetheless. Deidre is presently pacing around the first floor. She's only just finished having a word with the little skater punk bastard who very nearly got her staked and unfortunately killed one of Lucian's security guards using the stake board, as James put it. And so now she's presently trying to think of a way to explain this to her archbishop, but also certain other things have been weighing on her mind. First one being the results of the things that they recovered from the Keister manufacturing factory, and she'll immediately go to her mind will switch to the thumb drive that Grimm, the Nosferatu who showed up for the raid, gave her. Assumingly, it was quite a lot of the files that were taken from the computer in Mr. Phillips's office. So she will take the thumb drive out from her pocket and eye it for a moment, before she'll try and find one of Lucian's ghouls and ask them to take them to the nearest computer in the house.
The goal takes you to a laptop that is set up near Lucian's actual bedchamber.
Deidre will then instruct the ghoul to boot up the computer for her and allow her space to work, as she then places the thumb drive into the USB port on the laptop, and will allow it to wait for the laptop to detect it until she can automatically open it up and see what files are inside.
A couple of seconds pass, and you see that there are a long list of files. Everything, actually, it's a list of folders at the first screen. Folders that include titles such as personnel, finance, and you also see a folder that says process.
Right, Deidre is going to go systematically through these files. First one being personnel.
Alright, as you open that up, you see a text document for a variety of different names, roughly 30 or 40 names on this list. None of those names immediately pop out to you, but as you systematically start going through through the individual name text files, you find that it looks like profiles of each individual worker, addresses, allergies that they may have, issues that the company has had with them in the past, if at all, as well as present and past schedules. The past schedules seem like they go back about, at most, maybe about 3 weeks. And it's also noted in these files if the individual worker has any type of vacation or sick leave pending.
Does it also list their prior work experience as well?
It does not.
Is that all that it lists?
In the personnel files, yes. Excuse me, my apologies, I'll be right back.
No worries, man. And ladies and gentlemen, you get to watch me stroking my beard for a little while. Hmm. I bet you had as lovely a beard as I have. Hmm. So soft, so cultivated, so very me. He.
Yes, all that is on the personnel files. There is
You're cutting out
a point
again.
of contact.
I just fiddle with the.
There's no mention of fiddle with the. There's no mention of the individual workers' previous work assignments, but there is a emergency point of contact for each worker.
Hmm. Is there any correlation between these emergency contacts and what I already know of the Asian contact that I found on Mr. Phillips' phone? Are any of the
Not
emergency
this minute.
contact are any of the emergency contact numbers the same? Should I say?
Nothing really is jumping out at you.
Okay. All right. We'll close this file for the time being. What are the other two files?
Finance and process.
All right. Deidrena's going to have a look at this finance file.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's financial documents for the past couple of years, including the company's balance sheets, their financial reports, such as their tax documents, and as well as the lost profit statements for the past 3 or 4 years.
Hmm. Can I get a general idea of how well the company's been going these last couple of years?
The company had been taking a until the last about 2 months
Could you just repeat that?
where the numbers.
Continue.
The company had been taking a step in, but
Yeah, I didn't get any of
about
that.
all right. The company it's been taking a steady increase in profit for about the last several years. The last 3 months, however, show a extreme increase in profit. The graph literally gets to a point and skyrockets several $100s higher than what it had been, or
Hmm.
excuse me, several hundred thousands of dollars.
Hmm. Right. Is there any? I'm presuming if these financial records will have names of companies or clients that they had been giving their service to.
Unfortunately, not. Seems that these documents are specifically for just Keister.
Hmm. Right. What else do these financial records have again? Sorry.
Uh, Profit loss statements for the last couple of years and tax information.
All right. What does their tax information look like for the time being?
They are they were up until the fact that you decided to send the factory up in a blaze.
Hmm.
They were caught up on their taxes. They were about maybe not even a full month's behind on business taxes.
Hmm.
But as far as federal taxes, they were caught up. They were actually ahead.
Hmm. Do any of these financial records make any mention of insurance?
Yes.
Right. How much were they paying? Well, presuming you have a number, how much were they paying for their insurance?
The premiums that they were paying were somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $3,000 a month for what looked to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 to $6 million policy on the factory.
Hmm. Right, so there won't be too much of a loss. Uh, Anything about personnel in case of accidents?
You do happen to see an emergency plan in there with the financial statements. The only thing it mentions though is just it's literally just a phone tree of who to call in case something happens.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Dejan's going to make a small note of that particular phone number, just in case they they um, they come ringing or we need to ring them. 'Cause, might be something there. And yeah, I think that's about all she can really do with the financial side of things. Uh, it's not really her forte. And now she's going to look into the process file.
All right, that one actually has a password on it.
Hmm. Oh, you mean a password input thing?
Yes.
Hmm. I don't have any computers, but I do have like a straight intelligence roll I can do.
Go for it.
Okay.
So it'll be a difficulty 8.
2 successes.
By some miracle, you managed to get the password figured out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because whatever idiot put the password on it, clearly didn't realize the point of a password, because the password was the word password.
Sometimes it's the most simplest things that can defeat, you know. A safe is only as good as is only as strong as the person with the key, right?
The
Or in this
ghoul who
case,
was standing
yeah.
there, the ghoul who had been standing there to the side nods.
Hmm. Well, and what's in the process file?
Several documents, each one of them detailing different parts of the vulcanization process. This is apparently that wonderful vulcanization patent process that Philip was referring to several nights ago.
Hmm.
As you begin to look through, you see everything from concept drawings to floor plans to part lists, pretty much everything that's needed to get this process up off the ground and running.
Hmm. Okay. And unfortunately, I don't have any science or anything like that, so I can't really do that many roles involving this. But is there anything in here that refers to like prices or to patents to certain other people other than Mr. Phillips?
There is one, and it refers to the same name that you keep hearing of, that Giovanni, the guy who Francis. His name shows up in one of the patents. The only reason why is because you recall Grimm mentioning that name.
Yeah, Francis. Marco. No, it wasn't
Torito.
Marco. Was it? Torito. That's it. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make another note of that name because it keeps coming up. Who knows? Maybe Didran will probably have to. Well, I'm not going to have to say anything because we don't want to preempt anything. And so, is there anything else in this file that is worth looking at? Was it just concept
The only thing
drawings?
that's in there is it's mostly concept drawings. You see, there's a couple of blank order forms in there, but nothing else really of note.
Hmm. Right. In that case, Deidran is going to close this thumb drive. She'll also make another thing note for the password for this particular file in case Lucian wants to have a look at it at a later date. In case he has any particular interest in the vulcanization process. And she'll take this notes, fold it, put it in her pocket, as well as take the thumb drive out of the laptop, and just basically tell the ghoul to shut it down. As she'll then go about walking around the grounds before she'll start taking out the. She'll take out the pendant that she got from that zombie, I suppose you could call it, that was wandering around the warehouse. Could you give me another description of it?
It's essentially it was a small pendant about the size of about the size of this pentacle with a uppercase cursive G.
Hmm. And as I recall, when I took hold of that pendant, all the zombie creature things, they dropped dead. Correct?
Yes, as soon as you actually, not even as soon as you took hold of it, as soon as that pendant was removed from the neck of the creature that you pulled it off of.
Hmm. I'd like to do another intelligence occult roll on this item, if I may.
Go for it.
Okay.
Standard difficulty.
That's 3 successes. Because I have specialty analytical.
All right. Were you looking for anything in particular, or just general information?
General information, but also if shall we say, this item may or may not have any special properties attached to it that could reasonably be emulated on myself or another K-Knight.
All right. Basically, as you comb through your mind, thinking of everything you've seen in your many years of existence, you've heard of pendants like this being used to control the so-called undead. You had never seen one up until the time that you got to this one. It's apparently some type of a voodoo witchcraft practice, and you also discovered doing some research on your own time that a pendant like this is usually crafted from the bones of a recently deceased individual.
Hmm. Alright. Adriana's going to think about this and start to feel that she should do a tiny little experiment if it is all possible. She's going to search around the house for another one of Lucian's ghouls, and she'll basically ask him to take. She'll basically ask them if they've gotten rid of the unfortunate ghoul who met their untimely end at the hands of that little infernalist skater-punk's stake board. If they have disposed of the body, and if they haven't, if they could take her to them.
Yes, ma'am. We'll get on that right away.
Mm-hmm. And presuming that they haven't disposed of the body, Deidrana will then. Deidrana's going to look at this pendant, and presuming that it's not snapped or anything like that.
No, it's intact.
Okay. Deidrana at this point is then going to put the pendant around her neck.
Around her own neck?
Around her own neck.
Okay.
Hmm. And
Nothing happens. You feel nothing.
Interesting. And Deidrana's just going to take the pendant off before she'll put it in her pocket. As she feels the that the gentleman downstairs that she'd captured may have more answers than she has at the moment, because inspiration seems to be taking her time, and she needs someone to give her the right direction. And so she'll just basically tell the ghouls to hold off disposing of their colleague's body for the time being, and take her downstairs to the gentleman who they'd captured, who was presumably in the same basement as Maurice, her cousin, who they'd kept under house arrest. Obviously, Maurice has a lot more freedom than this particular gentleman.
Yes, they are still down there, and the one that you had kept under house arrest seemed to have enjoyed having the security guard down there. As soon as the security guard sees you, he rushes for the cell, and he reaches out begging for your help. Please, please get me out of here. I'm so sick of her. She's driving me up.
Yeah, kind of started crackling again, man.
Please, man, get me out of here.
He's still getting
I'll
crackling.
tell you anything I can. Just can you get me out of here, please, please? Look, I'll tell you anything I can, but just get me away from her.
Her. She looks over towards Maurice. Maurice is actually
Who
boy's,
stands?
a
Who
boy's
is?
name.
Hmm.
Maurice is actually a boy's name.
Who
But
She hasn't moved a muscle. She stands there, blowing across her fingernails.
Deidreana's just going to look over to Maurice and say in Quebecois French, "What's been going on?"
He has loose lips.
Mm-hmm. Have they been saying anything interesting? Or has it just been, the usual?
Well, apparently he's a Christian. He's been off spouting about the good word and about the good book and about the loving words of Jesus. Mind you, he's also been peppering that with the occasional cuss thrown my way and the threat that when he gets out of here, he's gonna have my head. Real Christian-like.
Hmm. That's not Catholic, is it? And Deidreana's just going to... she's going to walk over towards... well, not get really close to the particular gentleman cell. She's just going to get with about, like, a little bit closer. Not enough for him to reach out and, like, grab her or anything. She's just going to get a little bit closer just so she has his full attention. Let me ask you something. Sorry, what was your name?
My name, Tim.
Alright. Tim. Do you speak French at all, Tim?
I took a couple classes in college, but I'm not fluent.
Alright. If I were to say, fuck the shit, the merde, the calice, the tabarnak, you obviously would have no fucking clue what I'm saying. But it's kind of the same thing
Not
that
the
you were
first.
saying to my cousin here. She'll tip her head towards Maurice. Wasn't it?
Maurice lifting one hand, she waves at Tim.
Mm-hmm. And in case
Look,
you're curious, all of that was just profanity in Quebec French, mostly blasphemes, blasphemous stuff.
yeah, I figured. Look, I just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
I just want to go home.
Yeah.
I
So
may
does
have said some
Maurice.
things I didn't mean, but I just want to go home.
Yeah. So does Maurice. See, Maurice understands that there's a time and a place for saying things like that. Now is not the time. And Deidran at this point will take out the pendant with the G thing on it. You looked really
Immediately
comfortable.
upon seeing it,
Hmm.
immediately upon seeing it, Tim lets go of the cell bars, and he backs himself into the corner of the cell.
Hmm.
Please don't use that thing on me, please.
Well, that all
I'm just a
depends.
simple security guard.
Yeah. Yeah. Your simple security guard who seemed to be really comfortable standing in a corridor with at least 4 or 5 living, walking corpses that have been stitched together. I don't
Yeah,
believe you
I
somehow.
know. I just wanted to do my job.
Yeah.
Look. You probably want. I'm guessing you want to know how that happened, but I'm being honest here. They just practically overnight, those things just kind of showed up, and the bosses just told us to deal with it.
The boss,
The big man. From
the
what you
big
gather,
man.
he's apparently talking about the CEO.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like Mr. Phillips has a few more questions that we need to ask him. Have you ever heard of a man named Mike Torino? No, not Mike. It's not Mike Torino. Sorry, Francis Torino.
That name is familiar. I've seen his name on a couple of letters around work. Why?
Have you ever seen the man? Ever heard what he sounds like?
He's like this real. Never seen him. I've heard him over the phone. He's this Italian guy. He's got this really thick accent.
Yeah, Dedrana at that point is going to use the malleable visage to alter her voice to sound almost exactly like Frances Torino's. She has had this done. Well, she's done this to herself before, thanks to Grimm. Uh, is this what he sounded like? Hmm?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what do you
like
think?
that.
Uh, and what do you think that
Almost
he would
exactly like
do?
that.
And what do you think that he would do if he learned that you weren't, that you were, you know, talking? Hmm? Do you think that maybe he might get a little upset?
Oh, he'd be more than upset. He take a hand or a finger. Fuck, he might just take a knee. I don't know.
Yeah, Dejanna's going to flashcraft her voice to sound exactly like it was before. And what do you think I'll take if you don't tell me what I need to know?
Just please, just whatever you need to know. I'll tell you what I can.
Okay. First off, who was it that was given this?
I don't see. I don't exactly know things. There's several of them that we used. I had one. I had one. Michael had one, and a bunch of the other security guards. We all had one, and I think some guys up in corporate may have had some too, but I don't know exactly where they came from. They just kind of, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, those and the zombie things they just kind of showed up overnight, almost like they were shipped here.
Hmm. Well, isn't that interesting? I'm presuming you had some instruction on how to use these things. They don't exactly come with an instruction booklet.
No, can't say as And with this, you notice his voice is beginning to get a little more even, but you can still hear it cracking in some places. They told us that we were supposed to put that over the neck of one of those Frankenstein things, and they would they would leave us alone. They wouldn't bother us.
Hmm. So that's all it is. It's a restraining bolt, I suppose you could call it.
Well, see, that's the thing. It didn't quite work that way.
Hmm?
More than it didn't just make them leave us alone. It made them. I don't know what you could call it. I don't know if you could call it mind control or what, but we could kind of. They just followed us and they did what we did.
Hmm. So you're telling me that all you did was just put one of these over their necks, and they suddenly rose up and did as you told them to.
Well, not exactly. Not exactly. It was kind of a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. It's almost kind of like they started figuring things out.
Oh, so they basically just copied what you were doing. Wasn't that cute? Maybe I should use one of these to. Maybe I should use one of these things to teach some of the ex colleagues of mine how to do backflips. I can make a circus.
Well, I don't know if it'll work on just anybody because we played around with them. We didn't know what we were doing. We just thought it was just part of the job. We put them around each other's necks, and it didn't work that way. But if we could put them around one of those monster things, and it would work with no problem.
Well, you've given me some food for thought. The only problem is you're not really in my custody. This isn't my dungeon, as it were. True enough, one of my cousins is here, but that's because they upset someone. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But let me put it this way: when I leave here, I prefer not to have to come back with more questions. And I'd really appreciate it if I didn't have to come back and learn that you'd been taking the good Lord's name in vain and giving such unwarranted profanity to one of my family members. Are we understood?
Yes, yes. Like I said, I've told you everything. I told you everything I can think of right now.
Okay, I'm just going to roll like perception, empathy to see if he's lying.
All right, go for it. Standard difficulty.
One success.
He's too damn scared to lie.
Okay, that's good enough for me. And Didran is just then going to leave the basement. She'll just like wave au revoir to her cousin, and she'll before she leaves, she'll say, "Don't torment him too much." In French, of course.
Oh,
uh,
take all the fun away.
Relaxed. You've got a flat screen television, haven't you?
It's not the
And they have it.
same though.
Hmm, you do have a point there. Don't torment him too much, though. Lucian's going to want to have a word with him. His Grace Archbishop Lachance will want a word with him at one point. And then she'll just go back up the stairs and head straight back to the corpse of the unfortunate ghoul outside. Hmm. She'll take the pendant out. Start to think. And then she'll just see if this actually works, and she'll try to put the pendant over the neck of this dead body and step back and see if it does anything.
It the pendant seems to want to work because you see it actually looks like it's beginning to it's wanting to almost melt into the flesh of the body, but it seems like it can't.
Tabernacle. And then the adrenaline will then take the pendant from around the neck of the dead ghoul, or she'll just put it back in her pocket. Could I do another intelligence occult roll?
Yes, you can.
Just to see if there's anything I could probably. But anyway. Oh, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Damn. That's enough for you to deduce that the pendant looked like it almost halfway wanted to work. It also comes across your mind that a ghoul is not necessarily a full vampire, or even completely dead.
Hmm. So it only works on certain dead things, ourselves included. Wait a second. Dedrana's got an idea, but she needs another Cainite, but we can save that for another scene. For the time being, yeah, there's a lot of things that Dedrana needs to do right now, but for the time being, she's going to go back into the house. She'll inform the ghouls to get rid of the body. She's finished with it, and she'll just go into the living room, sit down, and ponder her next move. And I think we can call that a scene.
All right. And as the radio turns on behind you, you begin to hear an advertisement for a attraction coming to Detroit. Apparently the Phantom of the Opera is playing in town.
Hmm.
Kind of odd that it
Giovanni.
plays right now.
Giovanni's zombies, phantoms. Seems we're in a pretty ghostly mood this month. And all before Palagrande. Well, looks like we've got some really big things to do this month. And I think we're done.
And with that, yep. Alright, thank you for watching. This has been the Mozzarella Interrogation by Detroit by Dark. Continue watching this month. The Giovanni are here, and they're here in force. What will the K-Knights of Detroit do? The only way to find out is to stay tuned. And you will get 2 XP for this scene.